Check 1, 2, 3, prova.
This is a podium mic check. Okay, before we start, one announcement. I'm about to email all of you the Wi-Fi network name and the password. So just check your email in 3 minutes.
Good morning. Oh.
Okay, so the network is AAR guest. The network is AAR hyphen guest. Okay, and the password is the password. Okay, the network is AAR hyphen guest. And then the password is all capital AARR lowercase OME. M as in Mussolini. Rome. And then 2019 dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. Correct. Has anyone managed to join the network? Okay, help your neighbors. Yeah, Federico, please. I will pass this little paper around that has it. Do you want me to tell you one more time? Okay, the network is AAR hyphen guest. The password is capital letters AARR, lowercase OME, M as in Mussolini, 2019 dollar sign.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, and welcome to this fourth session of our seminar entitled New Fascist Body. I'm sharing some general guidelines for our discussion. The speaker will talk for 40 minutes, followed by two talks from our respondents, each lasting 20 minutes. So then we will open the floor for the debate. It's my great pleasure to introduce our scholars today. Dagmar Herzog she is Distinguished Professor of History at Graduate Center of the City University of New York. She has published many essays and books on history of sexuality, German culture, European culture. And I'd like to mention her latest book, The Question of Unworthy Life, Eugenics and Germany's 20th Century. Then we have Lorenzo Benadusi. He's Professor of Contemporary History at University of Roma Tre. His work analyzes history of sexuality, gender, but also European culture and Italian culture. And among his works, I'd like to mention The Enemy of the New Man, Homosexuality in Fascist Italy. And then another important work, Respectability, this difficult word to say in English, but and Violence, Military Values, Masculine Honor, and Italian Road to Mass Death. Bercy Berkeley, she is Professor of History at Smith College. Her research focuses on modern European women's and gender history, with an emphasis on German and German Jewish women's intellectual and cultural history. She's the author of a number of publications, and in 2023, she co-edited a volume published by University of Wisconsin Press with Sky Daney entitled Contemporary Europe in the Historical Imagination. So one more thing, very important, the bathroom is after that door, immediately on the right. So, thank you, Darcy.
Did everybody get enough caffeine? Yes, great. Okay, let's see if this works. Maybe not.
Dagmar Herzog's paper can stimulate some questions on problems that remain open. First of all, I have some problems with the title. The title is the New Fascist Body. I'm not sure that we are analyzing fascism, sorry. Maybe the title could be the New Nazi Body. And is the same the new Nazi body or the new fascist body? We can use the new totalitarian body. I think that maybe it's important to maintain the differences between Italian fascism and German fascism, and a lot of problems that we discussed yesterday could be resolved using this distinction: German fascism and Italian fascism. And also because I think that the differences in degree can become differences in substance, not the same things. And the quantity is linked to quality in many cases. I don't want to return to the discussion of totalitarianism. Also because I don't like the discussion on definition. Mosse definition, Gentile definition, Paxton definition, Griffin definition, De Felice definition, and so on. The discussion of totalitarianism no longer has much to say because the arguments for one thesis or the other are always the same, and always the same because could be both correct. But I think the argument that fascism is totalitarian because fascists said they were totalitarian is not convincing. Self-description does not mean that one is really what one says. Otherwise, the German Democratic Republic is also democratic. And Erdogan in Turkey is liberal. And Nazis is socialist, as the leader of Alternative for Germany yesterday said. And I quote, Hitler was communist and he considered himself as a socialist. Okay? They are the words and the deeds, the resolutions and their accomplishment. And the differences between them are historically relevant fact. They are intentional and not intentional contradiction. There is, I want to, but I can't. They are the Italians made of clay and not of marble. And not are my words, but Mussolini's words. They are Italians during the fascist period and fascist Italian. They are art during the fascist period and fascist art. They are literature during the fascist period and fascist literature. The second problem with the title is new. I think it's new for German, but I'm not sure that it's new for Italy. And I wrote a book, the title of my book is The Enemy of New Men. I think that now I need to change my title. I'm not sure that the title is correct. Who is new? The homosexual or the fascist? Now there is a French translation of the book, and I think I'm in time to change. So, new or not new? Dagmar showed how it's important to analyze this aspect for the German case. And she started her important book, Fascist Sex After Fascism, Sex After Fascism, with a question: what is the relationship between sexual morality and mass murder? Is the first sentence of her book. And I think the question for this paper remain: what is the relationship between sexual morality and disability? And I would like to understand better this link. And Dagmar also made use of this important and I think revolutionary distinction between the two different aspects present in the Nazi regime. And I quote: "We simply cannot understand why Nazism was attractive to so many people if we focus only on its sexuality repressive aspect. And there is this mix of racism and erotic incitements." And this is a change also the idea of the Moses idea of the erotization of images, the erotization of a nude body. And I agree with Dagmar, and I think that is true what she explained today. And as regards sexuality, the Third Reich was not always a repressive regime, but some elements of tradition stood in the way of German fascist version of modernization, and especially in Italy. I can understand that it is hard to think of Nazism and fascism as regimes that are both reactionary, and revolutionary at the same time. We either emphasize one of these two aspects or the other, but in reality, they are two sides of the same coin. As far as sexuality is concerned, it was Dagmar Herzog who grasped its double nature of repressing and promoting sexuality, of both containment and stimulation for Germany, and in some ways also for Italian fascism. Bourgeois respectability and respectability in uniform, to use George Mosse and Emilio Gentile interpretation, but also a non-respectability, an anti-bourgeois transgressive spirit visible in Germany and also in Italy, especially in figures such as D'Annunzio and the Futurist movement. Épitale bourgeois is a watchword that, even if not openly pronounced, makes itself felt especially among the younger generations. And it's precisely the generational aspect that seems to me should be further explored through the perspective of revolution and reaction, because the ability of totalitarian regimes to modulate their ideological dictates according to the audience, emphasizing one aspect instead of the other, is very important. More freedom and transgression for young people, one may say, and more control and discipline for adults, but not for the adults of the elite. Nazism and fascism are, after all, movements that extol the value of youth, but owe their support largely to middle-aged and middle-class men and women. They wear brown and black shirts, but there were many bourgeois in gray, in suits and ties, who had little appreciation for the strong colors and exaggerated vitalism of the National Socialist and Fascist. Here is an example. Who is the old? Who are the old? Who are the new? Are new the person, the soldiers? Are new the women there? And so the model is not only the model of the new fascist men, of the new women men, but also the model of the traditional soldier men and the traditional peasant women. And so the new man and the new woman are therefore both new and old, and perhaps, contrary to Moses' claim, older in Italy than in Germany. And also, I think this is the difference with De Felice in the preface of the nationalization of the masses. He said, Italy see forward, see the future, and for the new man, and the Germany they had already a man to recreate, to maintain. So I don't think that this is true. This plurality of models also offers interesting food for thought, both of the difficulties totalitarian regime encountered while attempting to realize the integral politicization of existence and the total dissolution of private life into public one, and their ability to pragmatically and strategically modulate their proposal according to the different interlocutors and contingencies. They are new men and women, and many of them are new not because of political ideology, but because of real American consumerism. At the same time, there remain many old men and women, old in particular because of Nazism and fascism. Once again, therefore, referring only to the new can be misleading also because the reason for this error of perspective is due to analyzing Nazism and fascism as only revolutionary movements, which underestimated the reactionary elements which were always present and at times prevalent. For this point of view regarding sexuality, Herzog allowed us to better evaluate the weight of tradition and transformation, counterbalancing the conditioning of religious morality and the present world with aspiration for greater sexual liberation. However, I will be worth emphasizing even more the differences between liberation and emancipation. Free release of instinct and conscious exercise of one's autonomy in public and private behaviors. In my opinion, it's essential to focus more on the importance of consumption in Germany and Italy in the 1930s, emphasizing the material elements of people's lives and everyday practice. In short, phenomena such as urbanization, secularization, and modernization, as well as the rise of female educational employment levels, the rise of white-collar workers, the increase in consumption, and the transnational spread of the American way of life are capable of transforming behavior and imaginary, even apart from the dictate imposed by totalitarian regimes. What is missing is consumerism, perhaps the most relevant aspect in shaping men and women. How they dress, what they eat, what they do in their leisure and time and in their bedrooms, where they travel, how they furnish their homes, what hobbies they have, what they use for their health and beauty, in short, what people buy and how they spend their money for goods and services. From this point of view, John Weissen's studies is useful because for him, the consumer world reinforced Nazism even when modeled the United States is not a former for political resistance. Here we have different model of old and new women, but in this case is a model for a colony, and this picture was censored also in the colonies, and the same for Grandi Firme. This image was too sexist for Italian regime, and so Boccasile decided to fit dates. Okay, this one is a book on fashion. So I don't know. Here we are at the end of the I think 1938. And Boccasile finished Grandi Firme 38 or 39. I don't remember precisely the date. And the advertising are an important element to understand this balance between old and new. Also because change, change for example, if they are promoting agriculture elements of pasta or pizza, or and is different for cars or technological products. The history of emotion is also providing new interpretive keys at times ultimately overinterpreting the discourses with an unfocused recourse to psychoanalysis. This is not the case with Dagmar Herzog, who balances emotional motivation, in particular the two poles of fear and desire, sexuality and violence, in short, the struggle between eros and death. These drives seem to manifest themselves with greater impetuses in wartime, and perhaps this is another important difference between Nazism and fascism. Nazism, in fact, is a movement at permanent war, adopting towards the other that free and more aggressive imperialist sexuality already expressed by other countries in the colonies. A colonial sexuality experienced at home and within Europe, which in the case of Italy is summarized by the hit song, also this song was later censored, Faccetta nera, bella abissina, aspetta e spera che già l'ora si avvicina. Dagmar Herzog's consideration on the central role played by the Nazi attitudes toward disability are perhaps another sign of this German specificity, which is not matched, for example, in fascist Italy. From this point of view, further reflection on the relationship between economic sexual reproduction and production could provide us with further elements for comparison and understanding. And I'll try to do this also because I'm studying psychiatric illness and mental problems in Italy. So I'm trying to put the analysis of disability with 3 minutes, okay, I'm finished. With superstructure, not only analyzing the superstructure, but the structure. So the link between poverty, economic problems, and disability and mental disability. In recent years, a number of influential studies on the historical evolution of inequality, the decline has shown that the decline in inequality in Germany was interrupted during the First World War and the Nazi period, while the reversal took place between the end of the First World War and the Great Depression. So I think that the inequality is very important to understand the level of poverty of the different countries. It seems to me that the lower class could not profit from the economic recovery insofar as personal income inequality widened during the Third Reich. Here we can see how is the change. Sorry, because I don't have enough time to explain these statistics, but I think that the study analysis of development of the biological standard of living in Germany under the National Socialist regime before the outbreak of the Second World War is very important. The biological standard of living refers to those aspects of a broadly defined living standard that relate to human biology, such as mortality, morbidity, and quality of nutrition as measured by the physical growth of the human organism. These are some elements, and here are the statistics that prove, I spent too much time at the beginning. This is the rates in Germany and in Europe. This is the morbidity rates from diphtheria. This is the hospital bed and the medical provision in Germany. And many of these suffering from poverty, beggars, the unemployed, the disabled or infirm struggle to claim a place amongst national respectable citizens. The connection between eugenics, euthanasia, and economic order is clear. Those on the no-use economic order were marginalized or, in the case of Nazi Germany, exterminated. The poverty disability cycle The poverty disability circle means that poverty is disability and disability is poverty, remain and was reinforced during this people. Also, the definition of disability is not static. And so, but it's shaped by the context. So a question is, what is disability? What is normal and what is abnormal? And how change normal and abnormal? I'm studying the Italian case, especially the poverty and the link between poverty and poverty in asylums. And I can summarize this concept with the sentence, poor like crazy. Poor like crazy, because during the fascist asylums could also have served as a container for poverty, a sort of social safety net, a social assistance for people with mental disability, with problem to find a job. And here is a clear scene of this growth of asylum. Ho finito, the last sentence. I finish with the idea of double think, the etiology of this consensus evolved not as a clear evil, but rather are the shadow side of virtue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lorenzo.